Hey there, today we're going to speak briefly about the advantages and benefits of integrated credit card processing. Hello everybody, my name is Charles Owen. Welcome to the Paladin University. We're going to go through a very quick slideshow today discussing some of the advantages and benefits of going with integrated credit card processing versus a standalone machine. So one thing I'd like to note is this is going to be recorded. If you want to see it after the fact, you can just go to portal.paladinpos.com/webinars, and this will be posted in the next few hours. And besides that, if you have any questions, go ahead and add them into the question bar on the GoToWebinar screen, and I will address those at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. Appreciate y'all showing up today. So what you're going to learn is about integrated credit card processing. We're going to look at the differences between integrated and non-integrated. Odds are everybody at this presentation probably doesn't have integrated processing, which would make sense. Then you're attending the right webinar. Next, we'll go over the advantages of integrated credit card processing, look at some of the speed and efficiencies you'll get out of it, how it can reduce errors, enhance data security, and perform functions like signature capture for things other than just credit cards. And then we'll look at optional signature and data capture, also gift cards, and the Paladin support for integrated credit card processing. So if we look at the difference between integrated and non-integrated, basically integrated means that the credit card and the transaction is processed all in one system. Non-integrated, it requires a separate standalone non-integrated machine, and generally what happens with that is on an integrated you get one cohesive receipt. It has everything on it, including the credit card that was processed. On a non-integrated, you have the receipt from Paladin, and then you have a receipt that comes out of the non-integrated credit card. So you generally have two receipts. That's why some of the stores you go to, they'll just take your two receipts and staple them together and hand them to you. It's because they have a standalone credit card processing system. So that's the difference between integrated and non-integrated. So some of the advantages are the efficiencies of checkout. It makes things faster. So transactions are processed in the POS system, and the credit card is also processed right there at the tail end of the transaction, and it's just communicated directly to the processor, eliminating any need for manual data entry. It's also simplified reconciliation. You don't have to do end-of-day card batching. Also, the end-of-day reconciliation is easier because all of the different types of payments, whether it be a credit card, cash, debit card, gift card, or what have you, all that information is going to be easily retrievable for reconciliation at the end of day. Fewer errors, higher accuracy. That's because when you have a non-integrated machine, you've got one number in Paladin Point of Sale, and you have to transpose that number or move that number to the non-integrated machine. Sometimes there's transaction problems and errors with that. When transcribing from one to the other, you might add another decimal place or something. You can either be higher or lower than the actual fee that's being paid or the credit that's being returned. So it will completely eliminate any of those errors when you go with an integrated system. Some additional advantages are enhanced security. We have an integrated end-to-end encryption and tokenization. All that means is we protect your information from fraudsters, from people that are trying to do harm. The information that's both stored in Paladin and the processing that's done in Paladin is useless to cyber criminals because there's nothing that they can get that is going to enable them to process a credit card, because a token is a surrogate number, and the end-to-end encryption provides that security between the device itself and the processor. keeping the point of sale system completely free of any toxic data. And then of course the EMV chip adds another layer to makes it nearly impossible for thieves to counterfeit. In addition, some of the other benefits include improved data management. The transaction data, including the customer information, purchase history, is automatically collected, and it aids in better inventory management, transaction tracking, and reporting. Just having more information all tied together into the same transaction just makes it a lot easier. And then built-in signature capture. So the integrated credit card terminals collect signatures, not just signatures from credit cards, but also signatures from house accounts, from credits, from product returns, authorized signers, restricted items, and a number of other places where signatures are captured. Now, in that light, if you are not using an integrated credit card processing system, you can still have the advantage of taking an electronic signature. That signature can be taken through an optional signature capture device, and it's real simple. They can just sign their name for house accounts, for credits, returns, all the things I just mentioned earlier. Now, the disadvantage of using unencrypted or non-integrated is that all of that information that's generally collected with an integrated system is not collected with a standalone non-integrated credit card machine. So the Paladin stores additional information on transactions that use the credit card, and that information is never available on the standalone machine. It just knows the number that you're processing and the amount that you're processing. And also, stores that utilize external credit card terminals will not be able to store credit card information in Paladin. Now, the credit card information isn't actually stored in Paladin. It is a token that is stored, or a surrogate number. That means, again, nothing to cyber attackers. They can't use that number in any way, shape, or form. So that's an important note as well. And then gift card processing, if the clients process through the integrated processor, they can opt to have a gift card program. They can have their own customized gift card, and this enables them to sell gift cards and, in holiday seasons where they might want to have credit at the store. They can give it as a gift to somebody, say, hey, you got $25 at this store as credit. And any gift cards that are sold that aren't redeemed is money that just stays in the merchant's pocket. Now, the last thing, it's very important, but we provide all of the support for integrated credit cards. So regardless of you go with BlockChip or WorldPay, the two credit card processors that we integrate with, we are the first call. So you can call Paladin for support. We then go to bat for you if we need to. If we need to reach out to the credit card companies, we can do that. If it's something to do with contractual or rates or things of that nature, we can help in that regard, but most of that negotiations is done through you directly with the processor. And as far as terms and things of that nature. But because you're working with Paladin, we're able to get extremely favorable rates because of the mass volume of credit cards that get processed in Paladin on a daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly and annual time frame. And we work with those processors to give you the best possible rates. In addition, both of our processors support online portals. So whether you know it or not, there's a portal that you can get access to with either one of those two vendors, credit card processors, and you can do things like reconcile your daily balance for what was transacted in Paladin versus what actually went through the credit card processor's site. And you can do that through this online portal. In addition, there is an option where you can actually process credit cards. If your machine goes down and you need to process credit cards, you can still go to that same portal and process a credit card manually. All right, so that brings us to our final slide, which is a nice little integrated credit card testimonial. And this is from Patrick Brown at Clem's Hardware, beautiful Cass Lake, Minnesota. It says, with our old operating system, our credit cards weren't hooked up to our registers. Because we had to input items in 2 different systems, mistakes could be made. Having the credit cards tied to the terminal is much more efficient. So there you have it. I had mentioned and promised it was going to be a quick webinar. There you go. We knocked that out in just a little more than 10 minutes. There's more information you can find on the KBAs and in the webinars. So these are links that will direct you to the KBAs and the webinars, and you can just type these as the search phrases on Paladin's KBA. So if you go to portal.paladinpos.com, you'll get to all of the information, which includes training videos, webinars, knowledge-based articles and such. But if you want to just go directly to webinars, you put that /webinars at the end, and that'll take you to the available webinars. And like I said, this webinar will be available sometime today. As a plug for next webinar, we are going to be showing the evolution of the Paladin support. We have come a long ways, and we believe that we have the best quality support of most any software company, let alone point of sale software company. We have just, we look at all facets of the customer when it comes to being reactive, being proactive, and everything in between. We've got the support infrastructure set up to really help our stores be more successful. So that is on February 4th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is also a Tuesday coming up next month. So that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope this was valuable for you. If you're not using integrated credit card processing, after watching this webinar, hopefully you're convinced that it's really going to be advantageous for you and protect you as well. So thank you for attending. Until next time, everybody, be safe, God bless, and take care.